Welcome everybody to the All Heat Team call. We are toward the end of July, and it has been an absolutely awesome year and an awesome summer. And I know a lot of you are really working at finishing strong at the end of every month with the idea that we are all going to Austin together with an army of healthy warriors that want to make a difference and impact the world. And as Chris and I like to say, we are hoping that you all embody your Austin powers, and I always have to do that, and really get it together for Austin. And what a great call we're going to have today with Courtney to tell us about team building. Now, I got to tell you, just last minute, I said to Courtney, I don't know your bio, and I thought, what if she doesn't send it to me in time? How would I introduce her? And so the first thing I thought about was, I don't know if I remember all the stuff about Courtney, but what I know about her and what I feel is that she has a really generous heart. It's really important for her to make a difference in the world. She really has our back. It's not just about her and her team. That's just been my experience of her. And I know that she's a personal trainer as well. So I knew all those things were important, but let me give you the official. And then the other thing is she just was recently married, and Courtney, you're the one that really came up with the whole cranberry 14-day portion. So for those of you that do the shred, and we all do the cranberry cocktail, that originated with Courtney. And so I was thinking about introducing her, and she's married, and she's only been married a few months, and all I could think of was Courtney Shaw. I couldn't think of Courtney O'Donnell. I finally remembered it when I connected her with the cranberries. Hilarious. But let me just read you just a little bit about her official bio. She's a mom of 5 kids, aged 11 to 22, personal fitness trainer, and a national marketing director. Her passion and love for helping others has grown a strong customer base and an international team of passionate people sharing and inspiring healthy living. Courtney has built a team with a foundation of love and honor, and the team motto is that no teammate gets left behind. You are loved whether you do a little or a lot. Using the circumstances, she trains, using life circumstances, that's really important. Using life circumstances, she trains and teaches her up-and-coming team that obstacles create stronger leaders. Has anybody experienced any obstacles? I know none of you have. This has just been like super easy, kind of like a merry-go-round. No ups and downs at all, right? Not. So the obstacles create stronger leaders. Most recently, her passion has become team building with intention, and it's changed everything for her business. And we are all about building team on the Heat as well. We want to really bring as many people as possible to Austin. So Courtney, I'm hoping you're going to share your story and share your wisdom with all of us.
You are so sweet, Nikki. It's so funny. My husband just walked in, and I'm like, can you not jiggle all the paper? So if there's a little bit of noise going on back there, he patiently waited on me to get home. I think he's going to make a face over here. To get home from signing up a new customer that's a neighbor of mine. There he goes. Anyway, so thank you so much. I just love this company and all the people that we get to meet along the way, whether they are, you never knew them because if you weren't a part of Juice Plus, you would have never met them, or because you just got out of your comfort zone and you started to meet people. And I know that that's been a part of my story for sure. So I was introduced to Juice Plus, gosh, probably 12 years ago. And the girl that introduced me to Juice Plus really, we'll say she dripped on me. And you know that dripping, and I got this from you, Nikki Cotton, that dripping is a form of Chinese torture. And so that was literally what I endured for about 2.5 years was dripping. And now I teach my team, no, we don't say dripping. We say shine on. We shine on people. See, I learn, I listen, and I learn. Always being teachable is important. But anyway, so I finally said yes to the product. And I start with that part of the story because there's so many people that are so skeptical about everything. And especially now, I mean, this was 12 years ago. Now people really are, because there's so much out there. And I honor that with people. And I say, I am so glad that you're inquisitive and you want your questions answered, because if you didn't, it would mean that you didn't care about your health, and you need to know what you're putting into your body. So that's one of my favorite parts, is to tell people what this is, because it's amazing. So when I went to this event, I asked, what is the best price possible? I got 5 kids. You know, it was ridiculous. So again, remember, she dripped on me for over 2 years. So 10 years ago, when I finally went to an event to learn about it, I wanted that best price possible. And she said, become a representative. And I know, being a personal trainer, people really come after you a lot and want you to, you know, you should take this, you should share this, sell this. And I had decided I wasn't going to be that person, that personal trainer. I would tell people, just eat your fruits and vegetables. That's all you have to do. You don't need a vitamin. You don't need a supplement. Just eat your fruits and vegetables. Problem is, we know nobody's doing it. So I said, okay, I will pay the $50. I will be a representative, but I'm never going to tell anybody about this. Just don't even bother me. And she didn't. She didn't bother me at all. And so we started taking the product, and it took her a while before she finally followed up with me. I wasn't even sure how many capsules I was supposed to be taking. She was true to her word. She stopped dripping and she wasn't shining. I didn't know anything. So she finally did come around and reach out to me to see how I was doing. And she wanted me. I was teaching in boot camps, not a boot camp, 17 boot camps a week out of my home, along with my 15 personal training clients a week out of my home, with my 5 children out of my home. So life was a little bit busy. And all she wanted me to do was to invite some of my boot camp people in to hear about Juice Plus. And I was like, oh, I don't think I want to. And the reason I didn't is I didn't want anybody to know that I was selling it. You see, when you have a lot of friends and, you know, you run a book club and you're the president of the Bunko Club and you have all these things going on and people know you're selling something, I didn't want them to run from me. I wanted to keep my friends. But she did a really good job. And I like to tell this part of my story because you might come across people that are like this, is that I said, no video, no nothing. And she said, no problem. She shared the shakes. We didn't have a formal presentation. It was conversations. I was conversing with friends and she would talk to them when I wasn't. And at the end of it, she said, you have 9 customers and a teammate. And I said, what the heck does that mean? And she said, you have yourself a business. And it was really interesting. At that point, I didn't need another business, clearly. And I found myself saying something that I never thought that I would, which was, what's next? I was curious. And it's really cool about that. And I'm going to show y'all how I teach my team with this, but curiosity is a powerful thing. I was always curious about what was next. And that's really how I moved into the top positions in the company, by being curious. You know, kids are curious and they figure things out, right? But I think us as adults, we become very practical and we stop being curious, you know, asking questions, finding out, you know, and that's one of the questions I ask people is, are you a curious kind of person? You know, are you always wondering how things are done, how things are made? One of my kids is kind of an engineer mindset, and so he's always curious about stuff and taking things apart and putting them back together. So I love that because that's really moved me forward. It wasn't about being a salesperson. It was about being curious and seeing, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can move forward with this. And I always just hit the goal, or I moved the goal. I didn't change the goal. I just would move it. And when I saw the full benefits package, I said, yeah, sign me up. Like, this is it. I'm going to the top. And once I got that game on, I was really excited about it. And what's interesting about that is that no one told me about the benefits package. My curiosity led me to the benefits package. And when I saw it, I knew that it was mine for sure. So, moving forward, you know, it wasn't easy. They had just started the fast track program. So I was one of the first ones to do the 10-1-10, which is what it was back then. Now it's the 2000 plus. And that was really exciting because I didn't know what the heck that meant. And they said, qualify your business. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. You know, back then it was 40 duos. Now it's, you know, however many quads or trios, whatever, just go and share. And that's what I did. So in my very small spare time, I had 1 event a week for the first year of my business. Every single week I did a wine and wellness on Friday night. Why? Because it gave me an excuse to drink wine. And I got to see all my friends. And my friends would always come for wine. So that's what worked for me. You know, that's not for everybody. But where I was in the McMansion that I used to live in and the life that I had, it was perfect. It was a great fit for me. And I grew my business so much so. When I say strong customer base, in the first year, I grew my customer base to about 94 customers. don't recommend that. That was a lot of customer care. And, but if you don't know this, you should know this, that within your customer base is your gold mine. And I'm going to share a little bit about that tonight as well. So I love that. I got that really strong customer base. But what I couldn't do was team build. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why am I stuck in this? And so my upline national marketing director reached out to me and she said, okay, what's going on? Why are we not adding team? You know, team is what grows the mission. It's great you have these customers. We're so proud of you. We love it. It's awesome. And she really honored where I was. But what she said was, in order for you to reach more people, you know, with personal training, it's one-on-one, or with boot camps, it's me with 20 people. But imagine if those 20 people had their own 20 people, and imagine like the reach that you could have. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. She said, do you understand the marketing and compensation plan? I'm like, nope. And she's like, okay, you don't need to know everything. All you need to know is how we get paid. And that's all I learned. I learned retail sales profit. I learned commissions. I learned bonuses for promotions, and also bonuses for people doing well in your team doing well in the business. And then also that full compensation package, right? The benefits package. So I was like, oh, I can do that. I had a little hot pink note card and I wrote down those things. And every time I would get on the phone, I would have that note card in front of me. I wish I still had it. And I would read off of that. I mean, until I knew it like the back of my hand. And through that, I got 3 DDs. Woo! 3 DDs meant I could cumulatively hit sales coordinator, because for the life of me, I felt like I just wasn't good enough to hit that fast track for sales coordinator. And I say that because a lot of people go, well, I didn't go fast track, so I don't know if I'm good at this. Listen, it doesn't matter how fast you go or how slow you go, just keep going. You're gonna do it and you're gonna find your road. Now, the next thing, and don't get upset with me for saying that, Nikki, because we want you to fast track. We want you to pick up that bonus money, like do it. But here's what happened. One person changed my entire business. One person. I only had 3 DDs, and actually one of them dropped out. My sister-in-law dropped out without even telling me. She called my upline national marketing director and quit, and we still haven't talked about it to this day, her brother's wife. So anyway, so that's one of those obstacles, right? I'm like, really? What's going on? My neighbor says to me, Courtney, what's that Juice Plus thing you do? I'm curious about that. Like, is there like a business with it? And I'm like, oh, we got a live one. Like somebody wants to know, you know. And do you know that we fast-tracked her to sales coordinator in 3 months? That's back when we had the 6-month thing. In 3 months, and it totally turned my business around. I was confident. We hit her VF, we hit her sales coordinator. And the next month after she hit sales coordinator, I signed up 5 frontline teammates. And all 5 of those went sales coordinator. Like one person can change your confidence and can change the whole trajectory of your business. All it takes is one person. So I tell my team, like, you just need that confidence. So the one thing that I would say about team building is when you get that teammate, pretend like you got to go and get 5 more. Immediately, something special happens. This is what Karen taught me. Something special happens when you sign up a new rep. You get excited. Your passion for the business is bigger than ever, and your confidence is there. I can do this. I can do this. So immediately going out and finding another person, always another person, and never relying on the one, right? Because the more we have, the more you can love people where they are. I think when people get disappointed with where they are in the business is because they don't have enough eggs in that basket. They're relying on the one egg that's in the basket. Fill it up to the top, overflowing, and keep doing that. And that's what I did that's what got me to National Marketing Director. Now, something that I learned when I got to National Marketing Director is that we never stop growing. Because this mama had life happen for her. And I won't go into all the details of that, but obviously I have a new husband, so stuff happened. What I did was, through all of that, I kind of had to take a step back, not for my business. I was working, but I took on a new life role, if you will. I didn't know what it was like to be a single mom. I didn't know what it was like to be a divorced lady in this world today. I didn't know, and I had to figure out who I was. I had to regain my footing and my confidence level to figure out, when I go and talk to people, I'm a different person now. So I share this with you because you may come across people in life circumstances, and to be able to honor where they are and to help guide them into their new space. And so now I give women, verbiage for where they are right now. I understand where you are now. You're in a new space and finding who you are. And I love that. Tell me, what did you like best when you were a little girl? What made you excited when you were growing up? What did you want to be when you grew up? And I ask these questions to find out their passions, their childlike desires, because many times when people go through what I went through, they lose themselves and they forget how to dream and they forget what they wanted and they don't know. I didn't know. I had no idea. So getting into the new space now, I'm really in a new space. I kind of had to get married again first so I can be like, okay, I'm Courtney Shaw. Who do I know? Who do I love? Who do I want to be when I grow up? Because I'm wearing pigtails still. Clearly, I haven't gotten that grown up stuff yet. But I've gotten in this groove, and that's when Nikki said, "What's working for you?" So, like I said, when I hit that national marketing director position, everything fell apart, and I slowed down on my team building. And when you do that in this business, we never stop growing frontline. And I think it was Jeff Roberti that says, if you stop growing, you're dying, right? You always are growing. And we never sit back and rest on our laurels or say, I can just stay here. And the excitement is whose life can you change today? And I wake up every morning and I do exactly what I did when I first started growing my business. I get up, I still drink a cup of coffee, and I go and sit on my couch and I have my notebook and I have my pen and now I have my phone with me. I have my Bible next to my side. I do some meditating, I do some praying. I get on social media. I see who's out there, who's up to what, but I do it with intention. And here's my intention, that every week I set up for me, frontline, this is frontline, I set up 3 to 4 one-on-one meetings with people that I want to join my team. Now, I want them to join my team. I don't know if they're going to join my team or not, and I'm certainly not going to talk them into anything. But what I do is I do my homework. I have a pre-conversation with them. If it's online, I'm asking them, what's going on in your world? I'm looking on their social media page, finding out what's going on, what looks exciting, points of common interest that we can have a conversation around. If it's not somebody that, is necessarily active online, I'll start messaging and asking, finding out, so how many kids do you have? How's life? Are you exercising? Most times people are seeing me online, living my life, not my perfect life, because I don't ever put that out there, but through social media, that's where the inspiring part comes back. And I think for a while there, we were in a state of perfection. And I know in 2009, 2010, somewhere in there when I was really starting on social media, it was all about being perfect. It was the highlight reel. Nobody wants to see that anymore. They don't want to see it. They want to see you be vulnerable. They want to see you, but they also want to see you win, have a mom win out there, to have your moments of vulnerability where, you forget to put I don't know if there's any kids around. I don't know if I want to say that, but the tooth fairy overslept or whatever, things happen. I always want to be real. We're not perfect, and you don't need to be perfect even when, you're eating a cookie. It's okay to be real, and people want to see that, because if they say, I could totally hang out with that girl, I could totally do that. Oh my goodness. That's what I want to do. You want to be likable. Be you, and don't be somebody else. My goodness. Don't try to get on and be like somebody else out there on social media. Just be you. Be quirky, be funny, be silly, be vulnerable, be willing to laugh at yourself. That's what I found. Self-deprecating humor is making people giggle. But if you can laugh at yourself, people want to be around you, right? Don't take yourself so seriously. So that's how I kind of get my ideas going. Now, That's one way. That's my first way that I do it. It's my first thing in the morning because it kind of gets my day set, right? I'm also, by the way, looking at potential people for customers, that kid's sick again, whatever. And I don't really stalk so much. I just take note. Interesting. And I'll write it down in my notebook, so-and-so, so I can come back to them again later on, right? So I do that. And then I set up my meetings from those people that I see. Hey, I'd love to get together, coffee, wine, whatever works for you. Lunch, actually I'm shredding, so would you do hot tea? You want to go for a walk? I try to find people that way. Most recently, I think 2 days ago, I don't know, a girl that was my boss when I was doing my internship out of college was on social media, and she's super fit and all the stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out and message her. By the way, she set me up with my ex-husband. So I got to say, hey, guess what? Divorced and remarried. And she's like, what? And so I'm going to drive to Greensboro an hour away, and we're going to get together for lunch and sit down and chat. She knows what I do, and she's excited to learn. I don't know. Maybe she'll sign up. Maybe she won't. But it's another relationship. A lot of times it's not that person. It's the person that they bring to you. Okay, so another really funny story, but talk about relationships. So I had a client for a really long time, and her name was Lisa, and she was beautiful and awesome, and I loved her, and she became a Juice Plus customer and loved her. And I was like, I got to sign this girl up. This was years ago. I'm going to sign her. I wasn't very good at signing people up back then. I'm like, I'm going to sign her up. And she was like, you got to talk to my friend so-and-so. You got to. She introduced me to a girl that's frontline to me as the national marketing director underneath me. She introduced me to her. So most recently, I went to see my friend, Lisa. She moved down to Florida. John and I were just down in South Florida, and we stayed with them for a couple of days. And she introduced me to her next door neighbor who was a trainer. And while I was there, she signed up. I didn't know who I was going to meet. She didn't want to be a rep. That girl would have had so many reps underneath her, but it's okay. She is wanting to help me grow my business. She introduced me to her today. She calls me, and Lisa, same girl, and she says, I want you to talk to my Pilates instructor. She's going to FaceTime you. She wants to do the shred. So we FaceTime. She's going to place an order, and she's thinking about the business. Who knows, right? So don't get caught up on, oh, they won't do it. Just keep loving on them. Just keep loving on them. If you can get them on the product, great. But being that relationship and being there for them no matter what, whether there was years she wasn't on the product. Still my friend, still loved her. It's all good. She's back on the product, and she's bringing me people again. So it's really, really cool about that. So let me jump in really quick because, boy, I can talk a lot. I'm so sorry. I want to try to keep things moving. I'm trying to give you ideas for how things happen. So the other thing that I do is mindset in my day. So I start my day like that, but then as my day goes on, it's intentional. Who am I going to see today? I'm going to work out. I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to see this person and this person. I want to have a mindful conversation, not to invite them to the business, but to relationship build and have a conversation, to set something up outside of the gym, coffee, lunch, whatever, wine. Usually it's rum wine around here. Whatever it is for you, whatever's comfortable for you, that mindful conversation, being intentional with your team building. They might be a customer, and that's okay. But being intentional that way, you're more likely to actually achieve whatever, whether it's a customer or a teammate. And what I love about customers is, like I said before, that's our gold mine. We do gold mining calls in our team. So I get on with my upline. I introduce my customer to my upline, and she says, I'd love to hear your story. Just so honored that you're a loyal Juice Plus customer. We love you, and we're just appreciative of you. Tell me how your Juice Plus is going. And then she asks if anybody's noticed any results. And then she asks, hey, you're doing what we're doing. You're already referring people. I don't know if this will be for you or not. We do a lot of that. And we know statistics are out of every 10 customers we have, 1 to 2 of them are going to be representatives. So if you're not doing that customer care, you're kind of losing out on that, right? So that mindset is customer care with team building intention, reaching out, relationship building with customer, care or our new customers acquisition or team building, right? It's mindset. Who am I going to see? I invited my daughter's friend over to have a play date. I invited the mom over so the moms could have a play date. And we went and had dinner while the kids played here and had a great conversation. And she wants to get started with the business. Who knew, right? I had no idea. But having that mindful conversation. So before I go into this simple system that we have, I just thought I would share it with you. I want to say this. The results that I've had is that I haven't done much team building, like I said, probably in the last 4 years because of life circumstances. My business never went backwards. My paychecks never dropped. I have done very well, and I feel very blessed. But I'm not sitting back on my laurels. It's time to build again, and I'm never going to stop building again. So in the last 60 days, I've added 7 frontline teammates, which is more than I've added in the last 4 years. Right? And I'm not stopping. And my goal every month is to add 3 to 4 new frontline teammates every single month. What does that mean? It just means I live my life with intention. You know, there were times when I would get on an airplane and I'd be like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Guess what? If your open sign is not lit up and saying open, nobody knows you even have a business. We don't have brick and mortar. We have our face, our smile, and our conversation. That's all we've got. So what's a conversation going to hurt? You just might make somebody's day or make a new friend. And who knows, they might be a teammate. And I always go in with the intention of, I have no idea what's going to happen with this, but I'm excited to meet a new friend. I'm excited to do this. So just so you know, I do blind dates too, not with men. Most of my teammates are women. But what I do is I'll reach out to somebody that we have friends in common and say, hey, we've got so many friends in common. We live in the same town. I don't know how we've never talked before. You want to go grab lunch? Sure. I just did it and I signed up a tennis pro. We were in the same community. She was the head tennis pro in our country club community. Never met her. We have all the same friends. She signed up as a rep. Just over lunch. It's just the conversation and being open for business. Okay, so really, really quick, because we've got 1 minute left. Sorry. I should stop apologizing. Stop. Okay, so here's where we're going to go. This is our system, and it's so easy, you guys. So the first thing you're going to write down is relationships. That is the number one thing that we do is relationships. Just love on people. And the more relationships you have, the more opportunities you have. Okay, from relationships, all we're going to do is create curiosity. Curiosity. How do you create curiosity? Curiosity means you're not going to be saying, Juice Plus, join my team, sales. We're not doing any of that. Curiosity is for every 2 statements that you make, you ask a question. So it brings on this conversation. So for example, I would say, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. Your skin is glowing. What are you doing these days? I'm giving a compliment. I'm validating them that they look great, whatever it is. It might not be that. It might be a smile or whatever. I always love seeing your smile. It's so fun being around you. Tell me what life's like for you right now. And I always start at the beginning. I went in tonight, didn't know anything about this girl, and I said, I know that you've got some health goals. Just tell me, where are you at right now? Where are you at? What's going on? What's your day look like? What you eating now? I just started with basics. Just let them talk, right? So curiosity. She had no idea what I was going to share. But through the conversation and the questions, by the time that she got to, okay, so what is it that you're doing? I'm like, oh, so simple. Food in a capsule. So easy. Seriously? So it makes it, right? So the curiosity is there. I piqued her. All right. The conversation is what's next. Curiosity. I've got that curiosity going. The conversation. Your questions that you're asking people during the conversation are going to direct you to what their needs are. You could say pain, because sometimes people have pain, but what their needs are. What is it that they need, right? If they eat a healthy breakfast every single morning, you don't need to uproot their routine and shove a shake in them in the morning, right? So what is it that they need? Maybe it's a tower garden that they need. Maybe it is the business. But through these questions, the conversation that you're having, you're going to find out what are their needs. And this is interesting when it comes to business, because with the business aspect, I want to know, Are they feeling lonely? Are they lacking purpose? Are they looking to give back? Are they looking for personal growth and development? Are they looking for a community? Are they looking for an income? Are they looking for fun? What are they looking for? Because that helps me to plug them into that aspect of our community. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times people will sign up for the business and they don't thrive, and we can't figure out why. Well, maybe it's because we're telling them to post on social media when what they really want to do is they thrive in a room filled of people, right? So maybe they should be having a wine and wellness and not worrying so much about social media that isolates them, or vice versa. So we need to know what those needs are so that we can get them into that situation so that they have a positive result. Maybe they do need to make $500 a month right away, right? But we need to know that. We need to know that that's what they need. Okay. From there, an event. So once we've had the conversation, an event is next. And I do a lot of stuff online, but usually we send the Jumpstart to Better Health video. That's my favorite video. And then if it's for the business, I usually have my event be a 3-way phone call or a connect call. I personally haven't found the business video that I use on a regular basis. So we'll just leave it at that. From there, it's a follow-up. So even if you do a connect call, a 3-way call, you're always going to have a follow-up. If you send that video, when I send the video, what I'm saying to them is, hey, do you think you'll have time to watch this today? I can call you tomorrow. Would 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock be better for you? I'm giving myself permission to follow up immediately. The fortune's in the follow-up, and that is no joke, you guys. Seriously, if that girl hadn't followed up with me after 2 years of dripping on me, I wouldn't be here, right? The fortune's in the follow-up. So always do that follow-up and finding out what they like best or what they learned, all right? And then the last thing we do is, obviously, if you're sending a video, you do the follow-up, and then you're doing a 3-way connection. And the reason I do this system just like that every single time, every training I do for my team, I teach it through the system. This is where this is in the system, is that when I get someone on that 3-way phone call, I'm going to ask them, especially if it's business, I'm going to ask them, so how did you meet Susie? Oh, I saw her post online, and then she sent me this, we messaged, and she sent me this video, and then she called me, and then here we are today. I know that she's gone through the system. If someone's saying, hey, we get on a phone call, I'm like, where is this person in the system? Have they been to an event or seen an event? Have they seen something yet? Because I'm not getting on a phone call with them until they've done that. So it really helps to know where your teammates are and where you are, and it keeps you, we call it a funnel, because it kind of looks like a slide or a cone, you know. You're always moving people through, and where are they? And if you're a visual person, you can do sticky notes on it, so you can always know where your people are and move them through that system. So team building is where it's at, and I'm sorry I went 5 minutes over, but it is so much fun when you get excited about it, you guys. I love it because every day is a new person that I get to meet or I get to bring into our community, because we have a very special community, and I always love to introduce them.
Hey, Courtney, a couple of things I took notes on that I think is really amazing. Did all of you notice that Courtney says she's still, as an NMD herself, is still doing 3-way connection calls with her upline to welcome people, to bring them into the possibility of inviting them to look at the business through a welcome call as a customer? So a lot of you think that you've been in the business for 3-4 years and you don't need to keep doing connection calls. Not true. And I'm just going to do kudos for Lisa Blaisdell, because she does consistent 3-ways with me. So, you know, NMDs continue to do 3-way calls, and I just think that's really important to say that. So what I really heard you say, and I just want to make sure I got it straight, is obviously creating relationship through curiosity, asking lots of questions, finding out what their needs are through those questions. I like to think of us as a solution ear, spelled E-A-R, big ears, but we can't know what the solution is until we hear them tell us what their needs are. And then from that, you're getting them to an event, whether it's a connection call or a video or something live. There's an event, and then there's more follow-up. And finally, when they're ready to do an exploration or a welcome call, they're doing a connection call with the upline NMD to welcome them into the group. Is that, did I say it right?
That's it. And you know what's really cool about this, Nikki, is that, however that person comes into the business is how their team's going to come to the business. So you might be really good at getting them started and signed up, but your new person is not going to be really good. And if they haven't experienced a three-way connection call when they got started, they're probably not going to put you on three-way connection calls because they didn't have that experience.
Yeah. I know we've gone over our time, but if we gave it 2 to 3 more, no more apologies. But if we gave it 2 to 3 more minutes, does anybody have a question they are just dying to ask Courtney? For some reason, I feel like there's a question out there that needs to be answered. Is there somebody that has one? If so, unmute yourself and ask. Maybe I'm
Hey
wrong.
there, Courtney.
Yes.
Michael Brown here out of Southern Oregon. My wife and I are NMDs. Hey, I've got a question for you, and this is maybe a guy question, but when you are communicating with people that you've never met before on social media, and I don't know, maybe it's just a girl thing, but I'm always a little hesitant to reach out and say, hey, would you like to get together to have a cup of tea or to go for a walk, especially in today's day and age. So I'm wondering if you might be able to speak around that, if you have men on your team that you're coaching.
I have my husband. He's also a national marketing director from Canada. And it's interesting. We've had this conversation so many times. So if you're working with your wife, that's what he does is he says, oh, you've got to meet my wife. I'm his third-party validation. I do the three-way phone calls with him, and we really work together in that. So he'll set up a three-way message. Like we do text too. A lot of times if people don't want to get on a phone call, we'll do a three-way connection via Messenger on Facebook or text. And I will come in and say, oh, it's nice to meet you, and kind of validate from that female perspective, because it is harder. It's not difficult, but you have to be more mindful about approaching women. I mean, he was single all his life and he got to national marketing director somehow by reaching out to girls. So imagine that. But anyway, it can be done. I just think that it's just being a little bit more mindful. You are blessed that you have your wife with you, that you two can work together, but you can also lean on upline too. Obviously, going for a walk with another lady might not be the way for you, but I have no problem doing a business meeting with coffee. I mean, I know my husband did that before. He would meet people, and when he was in Toronto all the time, hey, if you're open to exploring a little bit more about what we do in the health and wellness industry, I'd love to meet you for a cup of coffee. And they meet at Starbucks, and it was totally fine. I think it's just being really professional. I think sometimes it's easy for us girls to kind of get into our language and, hey, girl, and all that. And it's different for a guy. You're not necessarily going to do that. It would be a little bit more business-like. And I can say this, that when I interact with men online, I'm much more business-like with that. And I did actually reach out to, most recently, a personal trainer out of Charlotte, is a vegan trainer. And I just saw him. We had 2 friends in common. I'm like, dude, he's a vegan personal trainer. Like, what? He's got to do this. So I reached out to him, and he came to our Charlotte Summit. And he still hasn't signed up yet, but awkward, single guy, and I was almost married, or no, I just got married then and whatever, but it was great. I introduced my husband and who knows, right? But I was definitely more business focused with it, and very intentional with my words. And this sounds like it would be something that would be a great fit for you and what you're doing. So finding that connection, something that would be up their alley, and so you can take that business role from that. Hey, I saw that you were doing this. And I wish sometime you should have John on to cover that topic, because he's really good at it.
So,
yeah.
Courtney, we're going to stop this call, but I think you might want to tell us, you're doing some kind of a crazy virtual regional coming up. You're doing something. Maybe you'd like to share that here on the call.
Yes. So the Juice Plus Pajama Regional, JP Pajama Regional, is coming up this coming weekend, Friday night and Saturday. We're so excited about this, you guys. It is the easiest event to build for, because it doesn't matter where people are in the world, they can participate in it. And that's really what we wanted. I feel like, and I want you to think about your teams, there are moms out there that can't get away from their kids, or people that are just starting the business and they don't really know what our culture and community are like. This is a great way for them to see who we are and the heart of who we are, and seeing the top trainers and getting the best training that there is. We always say every time it's going to be better. How can we top this one? Because it's the best. It's the best. But we do have some amazing trainers. We're really excited. Friday night is a personal development night. So it's really easy to invite guests, invite, business people in your community, invite, neighbors, family members, customers. It doesn't matter, because this is going to be all about personal growth. Natalie Baldock, 100 Club NMD out of Australia, is doing this, and it's about living in your values. And she's going to show you how to figure out what your values are so that you thrive in your business and in your life. It's not going to be a Juice Plus night. It's going to be a personal development night. And then afterwards, we are encouraging everyone to do vision board training in the groups that they're in. And then on Saturday, we start at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so at 7 a.m. you guys, if you're out on the Pacific Coast. And then I know, right? We moved that time a little bit for you. And we've got corporate. Lisa Peoples going to be on. We've got foundational trainings in the morning, and then we'll break for lunch. And then in the afternoon, there's an intention and mindset. There's Dr. Carol Watson's going to talk about shred. And we're closing with, and Catherine Lee's making a special guest appearance. That's a surprise. So y'all are the first ones to know about that. And then we are closing with Brian Marsh, multiple 100 Club member out of Australia. You guys, he is phenomenal. If you've never ever heard him, or if you've only heard him once, you need to hear him again and again and again. He is amazing. And I am so stoked that he responded back to my messenger to do this, to do the Pajama Regional, because he's awesome and he's got it down. He's a dad, 4 kids, it's just awesome. So if you haven't registered and you're saying, what do I need to do? 7 on Saturday. Friday is, it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time that she starts speaking, that Natalie will begin speaking. We're encouraging hosts to get on about 6:30, so I guess that would be 3:30 y'all's time. But if you want to register, registration is open until Friday morning, and it's jppajamaregional.com. And only host, the people that are going to have their computer on for their friends to come in and watch, are the only ones that need to register. You don't need to register all your guests. And it's only $25, right? It's not that much. And so we actually give back to some charities and stuff. So we're going to talk about that on there, so you'll see where the proceeds go. And you guys, we just want to do what the company says, inspire healthy living around the world and inspire healthy giving around the world. And we wanted to contribute to all of that. So that's what it's all about. So fun.
All right. Well, man, that was great. I hope all of you are considering doing the Pajama Regional. I certainly have registered already. Courtney, once O'Donnell, now Shaw. I can barely remember your past name. That was absolutely delightful. It was a great call. Thank you so much. If everybody would unmute themselves and please give Courtney a really great
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Courtney. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.